Do you want to learn effective ways to build relationships, generate sales, and grow your business from successful entrepreneurs, startups, and CEOs without listening to a long interview? If so, you've come to the right place. Gresham Harkless values your time and is ready to share with you precisely the information you're in search of. This is the I Am CEO podcast.
Hello. This is Gresh from the I Am CEO podcast, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Sanya Hudson-Payne of Sanya Hudson Enterprises.com. Sanya, it's awesome to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited for you to pick my brain, for me to give some encouraging advice to whomever is listening, and to just connect the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Super excited to have you on, and I know we'll get tremendous value. So what I wanted to do to start everything out was read a little bit more about Sanya so you can hear about all the awesome things that she's doing. And Sanya was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. From early on, she had dreams of being in the world of celebrity entertainment. 3 years ago, she launched her own media company, which stands for Sanya Hudson Enterprises, a platform that normalizes the celebrity experience through her podcast, which is also a syndicated show on the dial in Houston and Georgia, where she interviews influential people, from celebrities, from television, film, fashion, beauty, books, and business, and also in covering media for celebrity events. Sanya, are you ready to speak to the I Am CEO community?
Yes, it's so weird. You reading that, I'm like, who is he talking about? Is that me?
Yes, it's always fun to have the tables turned, to have podcasters on this so that, I can ask the questions of them that they're usually always asking of everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so awesome. So I wanted to kick everything off by asking you for what I call your CEO story and what led you to start your business.
What led me to start my business? I lost everything. I lost everything moving to Florida in, I believe it was 2007. There was a hurricane, category 5. And I lost everything besides the clothing on my back. And I said, now that I have absolutely nothing, no place to live, no place to basically do anything, how am I going to recreate my life the way that I want to? So with nothing but a candle, a real candle, and a pen and a piece of paper, I started to map out where I wanted to see my life. And it started off with writing my first novel called The Seasons of Love. And then it just grew into this whole media company called Sanya Hudson Enterprises, or She.
Nice. And well, obviously, sorry to hear, that happened, but I always usually say that things happen, for reasons. And you always hear that sometimes you have to hit rock bottom. You never want to necessarily hit rock bottom, but it definitely sounds like that might have been, the experience that you had, but you're able to kind of show a lot of courage and show a lot of strength to be able to kind of paint the picture that you wanted for your life and actually execute on that.
Yeah, I take every type of experience, whether it be good or bad. But if it's a bad experience, I say, how can I turn this into something positive and into something good? So something positive was recreating my life under my own terms, the way that I wanted to. And I'm happy that I did.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely happy that you did as well, too, because you're on the show. So definitely, blessed to have you here for that. So I wanted to drill down a little bit deeper and hear more about She. Could you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing to help support clients?
Sure. As a kid, I was one of those children always glued to the television whenever I had free time between dance class, school, track practice. And I always looked at people on television, but never saw anyone who looked like me. So when I lost everything in the hurricane, I asked myself, what would I do for free? Because it is a passion of mine. And I wanted to tap into all the people that I saw on television and film and read about in the books. And I said, you know what? They're probably just like me. So how can I find a way to normalize them as celebrities so that other people know that they're just like them too? So that's exactly what I did. I tapped into the celebrity experience and I normalized it.
Yeah, what's so funny is that I always find, whether I'm doing these interviews or you're reading people's bios or hearing what they're doing, sometimes whether they're celebrities or athletes or whatever, they're kind of on this quote unquote pedestal that you forget that they put on their pants just like you, one leg at a time. And they have favorite foods and they have bad days, they have good days. They're just as normal as everybody else. So it's kind of great that you're tapping into that.
Yes, because we have so many people who aspire to be, let's say, a celebrity, but they don't know how. And when I provide the tangible tips and tools, it's so easy. They're like, okay, I could do that too if I persevere, put some hard work, and form the right network. So I really give them tools as to how they can be just like them and even better.
Yeah, absolutely, which is always kind of the goal. But I love the fact too, because a lot of times you see somebody that's has that celebrity status or, that wealth status or whatever that might be that, success looks like, from that person. But sometimes you forget that it's not a linear path. There have ups and downs, that bad things happen. And sometimes if you don't get the opportunity to hear that story, you would never know that.
Exactly, exactly. Just to talk about a fun conversation that I had. Oscar nominated comedian Lunel. I recently spoke with her about 2 weeks ago. And
Nice.
she was scheduled for this interview and she called in, let's say 30 minutes late. I'm like, okay, Lunel, what happened? And she said, listen, something happened that happens to everyone. I had stomach problems. But I was glad that she was transparent and shared that because people don't think that, you have stomach issues and you're running to the bathroom.
You're a celebrity. You can't have that.
So she had the same type of problem that we have as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that definitely, humanizes it. And I find too, definitely let me know if you find the same thing, that a lot of times when you hear things like that, it makes a better, stronger connection because sometimes when you have people, you reach to that level, quote unquote, whatever success looks like. But a lot of times when you are humanized and you understand that that person is just like me, they go through struggles, they have stomach problems or whatever it might be, they become a lot more authentic and connected.
And another incident I also want to shed light on, there was another celebrity actor I just interviewed, and he just got out of prison after doing 5 years for being falsely accused of sexual abuse. And what his story was is that it didn't even matter that he can be seen on television and that he's this celebrity. All they saw him was this human being, and they didn't even understand nor believe his story. And he was incarcerated, and they took him from the car as his children sat in the back seat.
Wow.
So it really normalized him as a celebrity to say, even though I have this celebrity title, I still went through this ordeal just like everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely, humanizes, things, and helps people to kind of understand that, there's ups and downs in life for everybody, not just, celebrities or non-celebrities. Literally everybody, has things that you have to go through. So it's great to kind of hear you've created the plan by which people can execute to kind of do that and do that at a better level, as you said, as well. So now I wanted to ask you for what I call your secret sauce, and this could be for you or your organization, but what do you feel kind of sets you apart and makes you unique?
What sets me apart and unique is I am a 46-year-old Black woman who media in Hollywood says is archaic and done and doesn't have a voice, but yet and still, I created my own table and I invite people to sit down.
Nice. I absolutely love that. And I love that really from the essence of entrepreneurship, but also, as you definitely have shown, all these platforms and tools that we have, everybody has a voice because you have the opportunity to create your own table. You don't have to go sit necessarily at this specific table. You create your own table because there's tools at our disposal to kind of do that.
Yeah, and when we see it happen all the time in Hollywood, being Black and also being female, that is a presence and a voice that is often minimized. Even when I talk to the celebrities who are Black actresses and how much they have to compete against one another, how much Hollywood tells them that their career is over at just the age of 35. So I just want to be purposeful and intentional in my conversations and providing a platform to show that you can be 65 years old as a woman and still have a place at the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times you need people that are, dedicating your life just as you are to, being able to provide, insight and visibility to the people that are able to do that and to understand and provide, a lot of encouragement to other people and other women that feel like that's the end. But in reality, it's not the end because I just heard, from she that, somebody else is able to do that.
Yeah, and it doesn't make it easier. I had one Hollywood agent who immediately just tried to change everything about me from the way that I spoke, the way that I dressed. And I had to remain confident and know what my value and my worth is and give her a resounding no, even though she has multiple Emmys. I wanted to make sure that I was creating this space, not only for a temporary fix, but for a lifetime, because there are children growing up who need to see this.
I wanted to switch gears a little bit and ask you for what I call a CEO hack. And this might be an app, a book, or a habit that you have, but it's something that makes you more effective and efficient.
Well, an app that I definitely use is Canva, Canva, and it really helps me create professional flyers, marketing documents. We live in this whole digital space, and I'm a talker and an influencer, but I didn't really have the digital space down pat because social media is so huge. But Canva is such an easy type of platform to create these flyers and brochures, and you don't have to outsource and pay anyone else. So initially, I'm noticing how, let's say, a flyer that I might have created 2 years ago, I love to see how Canva has helped me grow. And it wasn't even by me sitting in front of a teacher in a class. Canva really shows you how to perfect and hone in on the digital space and creating those digital flyers.
Yeah, absolutely. And Canva allows you to definitely, create, different sizes of whatever you want. So whether it be a flyer, like you mentioned, or you're trying to create something on Facebook or Instagram post, you're trying to figure out what the sizes are, you can just basically plug it in and have templates and it does it for you, essentially.
Exactly. So I can keep all that money in my pocket now.
There you go. Invest it someplace else. I absolutely love that. So now let me ask you for what I call a CEO nugget. And this is a word of wisdom or piece of advice. Or if you can hop into a time machine, what would you tell your younger business self?
I would tell someone who is trying to tap into this space to trust the process. Don't put timelines on anything, just trust the process. I believe that anything that is for you will be put in front of you. You just have to trust the process and not measure it up against what anyone else is doing. You have your own timeline. You are the author and creator of your own timeline. Be patient and trust the process.
Absolutely. I love that. Trust the process and understand that there is a process, because I think a lot of times in this social media environment, especially, we have this this microwave expectation where we put something in and it comes back out in about 30 seconds and it's hot and ready to eat. That doesn't always happen. So understand that there is a process as well.
Yeah. And even in my line of questioning with celebrities, and I'm asking them, how has the genre of Hollywood and entertainment changed now that you're competing against social media influencers? And one thing that really resonated as a common denominator for all of these celebrities is that people need to know and understand that these social media influencers may be temporary. May be temporary because you have people who have been doing it for so many years. And even though they may be overshadowed right now of the guard. So I like that they gave me that word of advice as well. Social media influencers, it's only temporary. So trust the process.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And there's this Michael Gladwell has this 10,000 hours where you have to put 10,000 hours in. And, I always say there's things like smoke and mirrors. So sometimes you have the people that have, 10,000 followers, 30,000 followers, whatever. But if they aren't necessarily putting in the work and putting in the due diligence to be great at their craft, right, it will expose itself sooner rather than later, I always say so.
Yeah. And also know and understand that in this day and age of social media, a lot of people are paying for likes.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even organic followers. So just trust the process and have people get to know who you are, especially if you're trying to increase on those likes. Be authentic.
Exactly. Because when the dust settles or when things happen, then you want to make sure that you're consistent and you are providing true, absolute value. So now I want to ask you my absolute favorite question, which is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And we're hoping to have different quote unquote CEOs on this show. So Sanya, I want to ask you, what does being a CEO mean to you?
Being a CEO for me means that I can create. I can create under my own guidelines. And now I'm inviting people to sit down at the table and just do it my way. So for me, that's what being a CEO means, having the ability to create.
I love it. I love that definition. And I love you sitting down at our table so that we can learn a little bit more about you. What I wanted to do was pass you the mic, so to speak, just to see if there's anything additional you want to let our readers and our listeners know. And then, of course, how they can find out about all the awesome things that you're doing.
As I mentioned during this conversation, I really don't like to call them interviews. I like to call them conversations. I am a woman of color in media, and it is so important that we keep this conversation growing. So I really do ask for your support. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at Sanya on Air. And you can also visit my website, www.she.company for all of my celebrity content.
Awesome. We'll make sure to have those links in the show notes as well. So Sanya, I appreciate you again, and I hope you have a phenomenal rest of the day.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the I Am CEO podcast powered by Blue 16 Media. Tune in next time and visit us at IAM282.co. I Am CEO is not just a phrase, it's a community. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe and leave us a 5-star rating. Grab CEO Gear at www.ceogear.co. This has been the I Am CEO podcast with Gresham Harkless. Thank you for listening.